The nation of Qatar has historically been a funder of terrorism.
The United States and Qatar will do more to keep the region and our homeland safe.
And it is our hope that Qatar will change its policies to stop terrorism, terror financing, harboring of terrorists.
Enough is enough.
They want to establish themselves as some sort of the major country in the Muslim world. And instead of doing that by appealing to the moderate sentiment of the Muslims of the world, they are trying to do that by embracing the most extreme interpretations of Islam.
There is a list of radical groups that the Qataris support. This includes Hamas, it includes the Taliban, it includes Nusra Front financiers, this is the Al-Qaeda group from Syria, it includes the Muslim Brotherhood.
If you have enough money, you think you can get yourself out of any trouble that you put yourself into. And I don't think money is going to get him out of this one.
Qatar is both an ally and an adversary of the United States. This is the role that Qatar has been playing for the last 20 years.
The Muslim Brotherhood is the mothership of radical Islamism.
Turks and the Qataris believe that the Muslim Brotherhood is the way forward for the Middle East.
The most important things that the United States should be concerned about regarding Qatar is the way it interacts with its GCC neighbors.
And I think the United States should certainly be concerned about Turkey, which is a NATO member, aligning itself with Qatar. Turkey and Iran are now responsible for weakening the Arab blockade against
Qatar is going on its own, freelancing, dabbling at times in what its Arab neighbors consider
effort to try and hold out a lifeline to Iran from the region is dangerous.
Is one that I think American officials and Western officials should be more concerned about, and that is that the Al Jazeera has long been a mouthpiece for some of the more radical voices in the Middle East.
Conventional news organization.
To The Economist, the network champions extremist viewpoints, broadcasts messages from terrorists.
Is not your regular conventional news organization, but something that can be considered a veritable arm of Qatar's policy of trying to get greater hearing for the Muslim Brotherhood in the Muslim world.
The Qataris will provide a significant amount of money to Hamas and just not even be ashamed of it. Same with the Taliban. They're not trying to cover their tracks. This is providing support to terrorist groups in the way that very few others would dare do. The alliance is one in which the Qataris have seemingly more leverage over the United States than we have over Qatar. The Qataris have a lot of assets in Washington. They have lobbyists, they have universities, they've got think tanks, and they've got other influencers, including even a few journalistic outlets that continue to push their narrative. And this is what has made it so difficult to counter what they're doing, because they've got so many people messaging in the other direction.
Engage much more robustly with Qatar and either try to modify its behavior, even if it involves telling them that our base being here is not in any way your license to bad behavior towards your neighbors.